Stephen Strange. Might I offer you some advice? Forget everything that you think you know.
A great movie, and what a great extension of like the Marvel universe to see that it has this new kind of angle that it could go on, and I mean, it was exciting to me and my kids.
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you.
My first
How old are your kids?
14, 12, and 8.
And they all enjoyed it.
They all enjoyed it.
That's fantastic.
They all loved it.
I'm very happy about that. Cool.
So speaking of kids, I mean, you as a child, you're a child of two acting parents.
Yes, I am,
was that ever like a pressure on you to really go down this?
Never. No, they were good. They were good in that way, and really good in that way. In the way they kind of wanted me to know all the pitfalls and discourage me and just try and offer me something better than they'd had. And they really did that. They were selfless in how hard they worked to afford my education, but also beyond that, just really good role models within their profession. And if now that I am doing it, if I ever garner the same level of respect as they have with their peers, then I'm onto a good thing, and that's down to them, because they really, their work ethic, their camaraderie, and how they applied themselves, and how they got through the lean periods, of which there were many, how they got through the feasts, of which there were some, and it's so peripatetic. You're moving around all the time. I saw all of those things and how that affected us as a family and lifestyle and all the rest of it. So I'm lucky, very, very lucky, that I've got very much to do with them and the leg up that they gave me, into a position in this industry that means I have the privilege of being able to concentrate on family as much as work now, and that's a great thing, and them being part of that family. And so yeah, I would say it was a huge deal, and it continues to be, and one of the motivating factors for me to get out of bed in the morning and just try and do a good day's work is to make them proud. So
well, I'm sure they're proud, and as a real life Avenger, I think your superpower is probably acting. And if you, like Dr. Stephen Strange, was to lose that power, do you think you would go through such lengths to try to get it back, or do you have something else that you would probably?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because and people do have epic kind of journeys in their careers in all forms, even as artists or actors of any form of art. I think, I probably would try and trace back to something of what I used to be good at or was good at, and then, to be honest, there's lots of other things I'd like to try though. Yeah. I might get deviated onto, I don't know, becoming a whitewater rafting guide in Nepal, or just going off and painting, or just living some monastic life out of the limelight and being with my family, or there's a ton of stuff I want to try.
I heard you're pretty talented at oil painting, so.
Thank you. I don't know who said that, but I'm very flattered. I haven't done oils for a while, but I do try and get the sketchbook out. I try and bring it with me wherever I go, because it goes rusty so quickly. So, yeah, if the acting failed, I'd definitely go in that direction as well.
I spent my last dollar getting here. One way ticket, and you're talking to me about healing through belief.
You're a man looking at the world through a keyhole, and you've spent your whole life trying to widen that keyhole, to see more, to know more. And now, on hearing that it can be widened in ways you can't imagine, you reject the possibility.
No, I reject it because I do not believe in fairy tales about chakras or energy or the power of belief. There is no such thing as spirit. We are made of matter and nothing more. You're just another tiny, momentary speck within an indifferent universe.
You think too little of yourself.
Oh, you think you see through me, do you? Well, you don't. But I see through you! To me.
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea. With a little honey.
Now, I know you traveled to Kathmandu to film part of this.
It was amazing.
And this is not your first time traveling to Tibetan monastery.
Yeah.
I want to go back to your first time, though. Like, can you remember, like, the feelings that you had when you first made that journey, and not as a...
Yeah. I mean, a little bit like him when he arrives at Karmataj. That door closes for the first time after he gets his Wi-Fi code. you kind of breathe deep and go, "Whoa, okay, I'm doing this." And it was a really profound moment of feeling incredibly excited, but also incredibly lonely and scared and wondering what the future would hold or the experience was going to bring. And it was an experience. You know, there were lows, but there were great highs. It was what you'd expect. It was a big chunk of time. It was about five plus months teaching. And then we had a 2-week sojourn where we took some time out. There were about 4 other volunteers, and we all came through the same scheme, but we were positioned at different places. Like, I think the nearest person to me was like a 20-minute, 40-minute Jeep ride away. I can't remember, but you know, under an hour. But still, that's a long. You're on your own. You're not. You can't just kind of knock on the room next door. And we got together, went on this journey together, and got lost on a mountain, and just had this sort of crazy experiences where a lot of that stuff kicked back in, especially when we went to Kathmandu. It brought a lot of that sense memory back of what that time was like, and the potency of that tradition of Buddhism in general, and how extraordinary those countries are at living with differences and being coherent and peaceful and accommodating and not differentiating between religions, creeds, colours, whatever. It's inspiring stuff, and you know, important in the world we're currently living in, I think, to remind yourself of that. And yeah, definitely elements of that in the film, so it was helpful.
Well, I'm glad your journey led you to be this great actor. And
Oh,
to
thank you.
On screen.
Thanks, Jamal.